All right, guys, sorry for the delay, but I am here. We are here. Bob Brown should be joining me any minute. Ian Carnegie will be joining me later. I apologize. Just got a little caught up with all the craziness from uh, being in Ottawa yesterday and then hosting practice for ourselves in Toronto today, and just kind of all over the place and got a little behind schedule on getting organized for this as I was hoping to be. That looks like that is Bob Brown joining us there. Um, yes. Hello, good sir. I can see you. Can you see and hear me?
I can.
Amazing. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, that's all right. Hold on a second here. Let me do this.
My case to the audience, if there is any, that I I just been caught up because I was in Ottawa yesterday with Devin's barbecue, and then I had my own practice to host in Toronto today, and I just got a little behind schedule, so I apologize for the delay.
It's all right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Yeah. Hey, does that look okay?
Looks great. I love it.
Cool. Yeah,
Um,
no, things are good. I had I guess a couple of the guys that trained down here were up there at that Devon practice too.
oh yeah, who was that? I might have.
Uh, Eric Benson, who is a relatively new guy,
Okay,
but then Julian Smith.
Julian
And
Smith.
Julian Smith is a very strong human.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sure I'm sure he would have done well against a bunch of the guys up there.
Yeah. Awesome. I don't remember. There was a guy named Dallas who was from the States. He was from Vegas area. I don't remember meeting a Julian, but Mitchell Hooper was there, and I never met him before, so I was trying to talk with him a bit, and then there was another guy, Ryan, that does some stuff with Devin that it was pretty interesting to talk to us. So I was talking to him a lot, and then yeah, there's just so many people, but I don't remember that guy, unfortunately. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a bit busy,
Cool.
nice, fun
Very
little.
cool.
Hey,
Look,
Ren,
I got to turn this light on for 1 second. Oh,
no problem.
oh, it is on. Oh, that's on permanent. Good. I wonder. All right.
All right.
So you starting a new league, huh?
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while, and we're in the yeah, definitely in the it's starting phase now. So the first two events that we did, I think we could call more like pilot events, uh,
Right.
and now I've the one coming up in October will be the first of four preseason games, and then the goal is to start the full season in the end of like in the fall of 2026, if I can keep everything on schedule. So.
Right.
But yeah, it's been a long time in the process. I don't know how much you looked at the rules and the manual and the format and stuff, but that was a lot of where I wanted to
Yeah.
uh,
No.
with you and talk and get your feedback and stuff. But
Yeah. I had a couple questions. One. So does these teams they arm wrestle every week for 14 weeks?
so no, so so there's a game, there's two games a week. So if you got, sorry, it's the best way to explain that. There's 8 teams in total.
Right.
So if for every team to play each other once in a round robin style, that takes 28 games, right? Uh,
Okay.
so 28 games divided over, if you do 2 games a week, that's a 14-week season. So that was more structuring the league so that it fits inside of a like broadcast schedule, like something that would fit
Right.
along with regular sports. So then what would happen is the teams play, there's 2 games a week, and the teams end up playing every 2 weeks, is how the season schedule works out.
Okay. So you've got to arm wrestle every other week.
You've got to arm wrestle every two. Yeah, basically, every other week there's a
Yeah.
game, and because of the way the roster works, each weight class has 3 guys. Like the team has 3 guys in each weight class, but only 2 go to the game. So
Oh,
there's some rotation there for fatigue and everything. And
right.
as you're strategizing, you're like, okay, we really want to make sure that you're fresh or your left arm in particular might
Right.
be fresh for this game, and so on and so forth. So
Cool. Okay. That
how
makes
the
more
rotation works.
sense.
So fatigue does play a factor, but 2 weeks, if you're healthy and it's not a full super match. Like you could have a grueling game where you end up playing having like 6 or 7 matches in the game, depending on how your team decides to use you for that game. But for the most part, you're only going to have 3 to 4 pulls, single pulls per game. So over the course of the season, that should play out to be manageable.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
What was that? You said you had a few questions.
Then I noticed that you have 2 minutes in between rounds or whatever you're calling them.
Yep. Yeah. So the way the game works is there's 4 rounds in each game. Each round is made up of 8 matches, and the match is made up of as many pulls as are necessary to figure out who's the winner. And the matches go lightweight left, lightweight right, middleweight left, middleweight right, heavyweight left, heavyweight right, super light.
So when someone arm wrestles,
yeah.
When I'm done arm wrestling my match,
yeah.
How long till the next match starts?
How long till your next match?
No, the next match.
The next match, they have 30 seconds to be at the table and ready to pull.
Okay.
So there's what happens is there's a 30-second timer comes up, like there's a scoreboard, and
right.
So the 30-second timer goes up, and then the next athlete has that much time to get to the table and put their elbow. They have to like physically touch the table inside of the timer. If they're not touching the table inside of the timer, then their team gets a 1-point penalty, and another 10-second timer starts. So if for some reason during the game, like the guy just had a right-handed match and they put him 2 in a row and he's going again and he wants an extra second and he's willing to the team's willing to give up the point for the 10 seconds, they can do that.
Right. So what is it that I read that there's 2 minutes rest between rounds? What was that?
So like I said, there's 4 rounds in each game, and each round is made up of 8 matches. So in between those 8 matches is 30 seconds. At the end of those 8 matches, we take 2 minutes, and then we start the next 8 matches. So
so I'm assuming the confusion is what we're calling rounds and matches and all that stuff.
Yeah, so that was something we talked about with Todd, like the last.
Oh yeah.
So like I said,
he came up with a terrible idea.
What was his idea that was no good?
Well, when he originally he did some data thing.
Yeah.
And he said every time there's a go, we're gonna call that a round.
No. So we call that
whatever. Not what you guys called it, what he called it.
No, I understand. Sorry.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would you change? Why wouldn't you just call every go a go?
Go or yeah. We call in the way I've got it in the, I believe I put it in the glossary and the thing pull. So a round is made up of 8 matches. Each match is made up of as many pulls as necessary to finalize the winner. And that means it's a single match, like it's one win.
Right, but when you say a round is made up of 8 matches,
yes,
what I hear is one guy's got to pull 8 times.
Yeah, I understand, but it's 8 matches being lightweight left, lightweight right, middleweight left, middleweight right, going in succession like that. Every round is exactly the same, and those 4 minutes between the rounds, as we're calling it, are the time that the manager of the team or the coach of the team has to decide who's going to pull those matches. So I know who you have on your team, and you know who I have on my team, but I don't know exactly who you're going to pick to pull lightweight left, middleweight right, super heavy left. Like you could put your middleweight left hand guy in your superweight heavy left, super heavyweight left hand match. Like that's you can pull up, you can't pull down. So again, because of styles make matches, this is where the strategy is going to come in, where as a game unfolds, it's really going to explain why did you put that press against that top roll? Why did you put that hook against that top roll? Or why did you put that hook against that press, or whatever it might be? Like,
and so when I show up to an event with my team, how many guys do I have with me?
So a team has to show up with 2 guys in each weight class. So there's 4 weight classes: light, medium, heavy, supers. So you need 2 guys in each class.
Can I show up with more?
You can't. You can show up with more, but they can't participate. You have to pick 8 that participate, and those are your 8 for the game. So if one of your guys blows his elbow in the first match, you've got 1 guy left in that. It's, you know what I mean? Like,
oh, you don't allow if someone gets injured that there's a fill-in?
Well, inside the game, no, but inside the season, obviously, and there would be, and then we could talk about injured reserve list and things like that.
Right.
The idea is that the teams have a roster of 12, and they have to bring 8 to each game,
Right.
and then you go from there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to pull up in weight class.
And so the reason the strategy and the reasoning for that as well is that, so the way the points work is a win. The winner is the only one that scores points, and a win is worth 5 points. And then the fouls augment the points plus or minus depending on who gets them. So if you win and I have a foul, you get 6 points. But if you win and you have a foul, then you get 4 points. And it's a 3 foul system. So if your opponent fouls out, you get an 8-point win. If you win with 2 fouls, the lowest point you can get is the lowest score you can get is 3 points.
Right. And so the first match or game.
Sorry, the reason for that, the reason for that in the weight class is if you pull up a weight class, you get an extra point. So let's say a lightweight wins a heavyweight match. That's 2 weight classes. He would get 2 extra points. He'd get whatever his point total is for the win with the fouls plus 2.
Okay, so there must be something I'm missing because the first match that takes place is lightweight left, correct?
Yes, sir.
Which means you don't have a choice. You have to use a lightweight guy.
For that match, yes. For that,
you don't have a choice. Okay, so. But now the next lightweight match is now right-handed.
Yes, sir.
Again, you have to use a lightweight guy.
Yes, sir.
Can a lightweight guy, are you allowed to use the lightweight guys to pull every single match all day long?
If you wanted to, yeah. Like if
you're allowed to do that.
Okay. With Crazy George and his arm was still, and he put him in as many as you want. Yeah.
Right. So from a team strategy standpoint, to have your 2 lighter guys be the better guys is way more important than your heavyweight. Your heavyweight guy can suck, and it doesn't really matter.
Well, suck is maybe an exaggeration, but yeah.
Well, of course.
If you definitely, this league will definitely favor the dominant lighter guys, the old Zinc style, the Crazy George. Anybody you can think of like that, Rustam, Babayev, like that, those kind of athletes are the ones who are going to do better in this league for that reason, which is also, again, one of the things I think that the non-arm wrestler really responds to, and is my main objective of this whole league is to appeal to non-arm wrestlers. I want geeks with glasses and notepads watching arm wrestling that don't arm wrestle at all. And that's so with that being said, my stupid description, I got sidetracked. So what was it you were just asking? What was I just trying to respond to?
About how the heavyweight guys aren't nearly as
the lighter guys. So the thing that intrigues people is people get really intrigued when they see a small guy beat a big guy. That's one of the things that blows everybody who doesn't know arm wrestling away, is they go, how did that little guy beat that big guy? So the more that someone who's a nerd about sports can predict that and be like, no, watch, Rustam's going to destroy Alex Krdecha because there's no way Alex can get out of this hook. And no way, I'll bet you whatever on that match. And those are the kind of things that this league is meant to emphasize and push. So that
I think it's interesting. I mean, you're correct in the fact that you have to appeal to the non-arm wrestler. I mean, that's, I don't know why people haven't figured that out 30 years ago. I've been telling people, if you want to grow the sport, you need non-arm wrestlers to be fans. Otherwise, you're all just wasting your time.
Yeah.
And so that is an interesting thing. I would venture to bet that if your league took off, eventually,
yes, sir,
you would end up going lightweight against lightweight, middleweight against middleweight, heavyweight against heavyweight. In the long run,
you think it would? Sorry, long run, you don't think that the pulling up will last, so to speak?
I think it'll create problems.
Okay.
In the short run, it's exciting. It's awesome. Everyone wants to see Floyd Mayweather knock out Mike Tyson.
Yep.
Okay. People would pay a lot of money for that.
Right.
Over time, people would then lose respect for the heavyweights because they're all getting beat up by lightweights. And all of a sudden, you've now just have your fans lose respect for an entire 25% of your teams. Because the educated fan will realize, these heavyweights really aren't all that important.
Well, but
So,
do you think that you would get that many lightweights beating super heavyweights, for example? I could see as the league progressed, if the league took off, that you would get people winning up one class, but people winning up two classes would be like, holy cow, it would be more impressive of the person that did it than devaluing the person that got beat, I think. But I see what you're saying. I'm not. It's an interesting.
I mean, in the short run, it's exciting, and by short run, in the arm wrestling world, hell, the short run could be 5 years. I mean, East versus West has been going 4 or 5 years now.
Yeah, 3
and it's still in its infancy.
Yeah.
I mean, so, but if this league is still here 5 years from now, then whether I'm right or wrong, will have become clear, and you guys would have adjusted it, or not adjusted it.
Well, I hope we would have, because that's definitely our philosophy is to allow the sport to adapt with the times and continue. Like every major sport, like football, basketball, baseball, all those, they don't have rule changes necessarily every year, but they always are revamping the way that the sport is presented in order to keep it relative.
Absolutely. And
that's
absolutely.
And the intention here also, as I mentioned with Todd, is not to. I still think a super match is the best way to find out who's the best between two people. But this I think is a format that will attract the most to the non-arm wrestler and grow the sport, so that the super matches can then really stand on their own value wise.
Oh, I agree. Plus, you don't need. The reality is East versus West.
Yeah.
Because of the way it's been going, they really do need to have the absolute elite guys.
The format doesn't work otherwise.
Yeah, because with social media, everyone knows who the best guys are with social media. But in a team situation, you don't need to have the super high end 1% of 1% of 1% guys.
It's perfect for the step below the top 10.
Right. Yes.
The idea and the structure, like we talked about with Ian in the first one. I mean, the idea is that the people that win tournaments and make a name for themselves in the amateur market are the ones that end up getting drafted and being on the teams. And then the guys that are the best on the teams are the ones that end up making the big money in the super matches as they move on from the teams. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you also then, if you get a whole city behind like that guy was the best middleweight for Tampa Bay for 3 years, and now he's the big super match guy. Like, he's going to have so many more fans watching him because of what he did for the team. Now that will then follow him into the super matches, or her, depending on how it goes. Right. So.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. That's good. And you have how many teams now?
Well, the idea is that the goal is that, the plan is we're going to have 8. I have this game that's happening now is 2 teams. So it's Toronto and Montreal. So there's 4 US teams, 4 Canadian teams, and they'll each play each other once throughout the season. And then the top 2 Canadian teams will play each other in the semis. The top US teams will play each other in the semis. And then the winners of that will face in the finals. And then we're going to make like a big cup, like that Brian Shaw cup, but like a big gold one that'll be similar to like a Stanley style thing. And so 8 teams. The Toronto and Montreal team, we're having a draft now. The next game we're going to do preseason game will be Calgary and Vancouver. So I've already started talking to the people out there a little bit. I've got like teams starting to form, but it's behind where Toronto and Montreal is right now, obviously. And then I'll be moving the games in the US that I'm planning. The first one is Long Island versus Detroit. And again, I've already been talking to some of the guys in Long Island, some of the guys in Michigan. So that's happening. And then the last one would be Vegas and Tampa Bay. So the 4 US teams I have in mind are Long Island, Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Vegas. And that's also just because I feel like demographically, there's a lot of athletes to pull around from around there. It doesn't have to be like the guys don't all have to be from Detroit. We're all from Long Island. They just have to be, close enough that it makes sense, basically.
Right, because there's a decent amount of guys in Las Vegas, but
if you add Utah and you add California and
right,
if you add all that into it around there, there's a pretty good selection out there.
Yeah, then you can get some. Yeah, you can just call them Las Vegas.
The point is the guys don't need to be together all the time. They just need to show up the game together. So that's just
a
thing for
no. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Very cool.
I appreciate the enthusiasm.
No, I mean, I'm all for new ideas. I think a team thing is it's not a new idea, but it's the first time it's being done by arm wrestlers.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole game of arms was a team thing.
That's true. Yeah.
But they kind of screwed that up.
Yep.
And so is there do you have sponsors? Is there prizes, or are these guys making money out of this, or is it all just for nothing?
Well, the idea is that everybody's going to donate their time, and then no. The goal of it is, again, with the sport being broadcast friendly, it opens a lot of doors for broadcast opportunities, which open sponsorship opportunities. It's not something that is going to be pay-per-view that I'm depending on people to spend money to watch. It's something that is structured in a way that it should. So I can't speak to anything that's solid yet because the ink isn't on paper yet, but I've got a lot of things in the work, and because of the way it's structured, it's getting a lot of attention on that front. For this game in Toronto, everybody's getting paid. Their travel's covered, their hotel's covered, all that, like as if they were attending a super match at a back event or anything like that. And Auden Larrett is going to be doing commentating with Matt Cause, who does TSN radio, which is like our ESPN around here. So he's kind of a local, like a lot of people know him. So they're going to be doing commentating together, which another thing that I've really tried to, or one of the things I think made the UFC really successful that I'm trying to embody here, is that once they had Joe Rogan with Mike Goldberg, that was when people really started to understand the jiu-jitsu end of things and the fight aspect of it, because you had Mike Goldberg, who didn't understand fighting but loved sports and was a good announcer, and then you had Joe Rogan, who really understood the fighting. So Mike would constantly make assumptions about what he just saw or what he was about to see, and then Joe would either confirm or deny, and therefore the audience now learns about the sport. So that's the dynamic I'm trying to, because I feel like one of the issues we have with all the commentating now is we have two guys that really know the sport talking about it, just talking about it on a level that anybody that doesn't know the sport is going to be like, what the fuck?
I've been saying that for years.
Well, there you go. You're fucking great minds, Bob. Great minds think alike. So anyway, that's the goal with the commentating, and another example of how trying to make it more presentable to non-arm wrestlers. And why did I start talking about the commentating again?
Just because that's how UFC took off.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that's the biggest hurdle that we've had, is that arm wrestling is so presented and made for the like arm wrestling fanatic, period. Like that's where
exactly. No, I agree. It'll be interesting to see how this team thing takes off. And so when is this first match, you said, or game?
The first, that was what I was talking about. So it's in October 11th. Everybody's getting paid. I will have sponsors covering the event, and then there will be a prize. So the winning team will get a prize, like extra, basically their appearance, like their fee will get doubled.
Right.
But it'll be like a team fee that then they can decide how to disperse. So if they decide like, holy shit, you were the guy that won the game for us, you get an extra whatever. That's between
Right.
them.
Right.
And then we'll have an MVP, most valuable puller, who will get a little. They're going to get like one of the like a mini mug for the championship thing that'll say
Right.
stuff. Um, and then depending on sponsorships and stuff, if I can get other awards, like other awards for the day thought out, I will. But there's also a tournament afterwards, so I'd like to be able to throw some something towards the tournament as well.
How long do you think? What is the whole thing called? A game or a match?
Game. I call it a game.
Okay, so how long will a game take?
So it's scheduled, or it's structured that it should take between 70 and 90 minutes, depending on break time and matches. So
okay,
good. If you have every match be a 3 foul, or like create, like there's a way where the game could take 2 hours, but
right,
or it should be between 70 and 90 minutes.
And it's how many total arm wrestling matches, pulls?
32 single pulls, like 32 matches.
32 matches.
So that's the equivalent of like 8 roughly.
Yeah. No, I know what it is. So yeah, well, you're right. That'll, as long as there's no screwing around, 70 to 90 minutes is an appropriate amount of time.
And it's all MAC tables and MAC rules basically, like setup. So it's straight to a set grip, and the set grip is similar to WAL, but even like a little bit stricter in the sense that the goal, basically, the way that Ian puts it, and he might be joining us a little later, but the way that he says it and the way that I reiterate it basically is that we want the refs are in control of the start 100%, and he's going to live a long time. I just talking about him and he jumps on. What's up, Ian? Is that the idea is that the refs are in control of the match to get the match started, and once the match is started, it's on the athletes. Like they're in control of the match, because the way the fouls work on the MAC table is it's very, very difficult to accidentally foul. If you foul, you are a long time. You know you're pushing it. So yeah, so that's the point with the fouls and with the reffing, with the setup and everything, is that it should be fast in between rounds. And with the 30-second timer, like the first 2 games that we've run, the athletes are all, because they're not resting from like they didn't just pull a match. The last match they pulled was 10 minutes ago, so they're like eager to pull. You know what I mean? So they're like getting to the table quick, and the pace has been good for that in that sense. So
have you tested this with just 8 guys?
Yeah, so the first format we did was 11 versus 11, and it was much more like open. Like the teams could have different numbers in the classes, and the rounds were random, and it was a little bit like, it seemed more interesting, but it was a little bit clunky and didn't work as smooth. Then the second one we did, I shrunk it like basically half size, and it was 5 versus 5. And the issue there was it became way too repetitive with the way the structure was. So it was good to have those first 2 trial runs, and then I really just dove into it and analyzed all what we had done wrong, what wasn't working, what wasn't working, what was good, what wasn't. Did a lot of journaling with my AI and coming up with different ideas of how it could structure to make it a little bit better. And now we came up with this. The way it is now is the 8 versus 8 with the 4 weight classes, the 4 rounds. The rounds are the same each time, and then the point system. And then there's also a lot of ways to create point swings with the scoring. So the first one is the captain of the team. So the manager, the coach, he picks a captain every game. It doesn't have to be the same guy. Whoever that captain is, whenever he wins a match, he gets an extra point. So that's first way you can accumulate more points. Second thing is, and strategy-wise, being like, oh, you're going to win a lot of matches today, so you're our captain today. Second thing is a shutout. So because it's 4 of the same matches, so each round is lightweight left, blah, blah, blah. That means if you win all the lightweight left matches, for example, you get an extra win. You get an extra 5-point win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you just said all the lightweight left-hand matches.
Yeah, so there's 4 in the game, right? There's 1 each round.
Okay.
Because each round is the same. Each round is left weight left, light left weight, no, light left, light right, middle left, middle right.
So isn't aren't you going to have repetitiveness then with your
You,
left weight?
you might, but like if we show it with two guys and the first match, like your left is better than your right, so you pull the first left-handed match, and now the second round, we're assuming they're going to put their same left-hander up again, but my left is pretty good. It's not yours, but when yours is beat up, mine is better. So now I'll pull the left-hand match. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so now it's a different matchup. So the
Well,
lightweight,
I understand, but come round 3 or round 4, it's going to be the same guys.
yeah, for sure. You'll
Yeah.
get a couple repeat matches, but I'm not worried about having 1 or 2 repeat matches. That's not. And if you end up with 4 of the same match in one game with 28 other matches happening, like unless you get a game where every single match is repeated each time, that would be the only time
Right.
we start getting.
Okay. Cool.
And again, I don't want to sound or come across like I'm combative on it. I want as many questions and oppositions to it as possible, because that's how an idea is going to get better and better, right? It's just constantly testing.
Right.
Anyway, Ethan, sorry for keeping you waiting so long as we blabber away. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'll just to add to what Jason's doing and saying, Bob, I've been doing this for 20 years, and I got to tell you,
You've been doing what for 20 years?
Arm wrestling.
Oh, okay. You ain't been doing this for 20 years.
No. I've been arm wrestling for 20 years, and I've been on some big stages and met a lot of great people. The funnest event I ever did for me personally, and there's a lot of different reasons, there was a lot of drama, was TAWF One. Personally for me, I was going through a lot. My dad almost died while the thing was live, and I got the call. Remember that, Jason? They zoomed in on me while I'm getting the call that my dad's being rushed to the hospital. And I also tore my rear delt. So the only reason I was able to continue was because instead of a super match where I'd have to be up in a minute, I would go win my match, go sit down. Someone with a gun was just driving me for until I had to show up for the next one. And it was a great atmosphere. And as soon as it was done, I walked over to Jason. I said, I don't know if this is going to take over professional wrestling, but it's certainly got a future. It was so fun, and I would have pulled out if it was just me. That's the other thing, right? I was so sore that if it was just about me, I would have thrown in the towel. But because my team needed me, they're like, man, fuck, you're killing it right now, and I was like, okay, and you capture the drama. I'm sweating. When you hurt yourself, you kind of have that heat sweat. You ever get that, Bob? Like when you're like almost like shock. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm sweating and I'm worried.
Are you talking about arm wrestling right now or regular wrestling?
Ian participated in the first TAWF event, the one that I said was 11 versus 11. Ian was on.
I didn't know it was called the TAWF event. Okay, that's why I'm confused.
Yeah, well, so it's TAWF. We pronounce it TAWF, like the Team Arm Wrestling Federation, TAWF.
Okay.
So that's where the TAWF comes from. But so the first event I ran, Ian participated in it, and Rick was on the opposing team, and so Ian dominated Rick that day, beat him left-handed a bunch of times that he hadn't done before. But like he said, his right arm after I think his third match with Rick was pretty much blown up. And with the way that format worked, you ended up you didn't just pull Rick, you pulled Zach, you pulled a few different guys, right? So
yeah, and Zach was killing like Alan Ford and Jeff Slater. So that was his coming out party, and my shoulder was so inflamed, and to have to go up against Zach, I was like, fuck. And they're like, guys, he's killing our other guys. You have to do this.
Yeah.
And I almost threw in the towel, but because of the element of not wanting to let your team down, I fucking went in there and I was lucky to win the match that day. Yeah.
Well, and another thing that you capture, which Bob, I'll send you the video for that. Again, it's a good one. It's a good event to watch, but the format is a little clunky. It's not exactly how the new one will be. But one of the great things right off the bat when I was there live, like watching it, and after the very first match was 2 girls, and they got into a grinder, and the girl that the like underdog ended up winning the first match. She ended up losing pretty much every other one after that, but she won the first one, so it was like a big like kind of moment. And when she went back to her team, like to her bench, just like the congratulations and walking through like all the guys being like, good job, good job, good job. I was just like, holy fuck, that is 100% what I'm going for. As long as we can nail that environment, it's gonna, like Ian said, I'm like, it'll have a place. So
I love it.
Are there girls on these teams?
there were in the first one. So because of with the girls, it becomes a little too many weight classes, and I also have to give the girls, the only way to make it work is give them one weight class, and then which weight class is it? So this format is only men, but there are girls at this event. There is a girls event first, which is like a similar, so it's a team thing again, and it's super matches, but it's not, there's no strategy and stuff. It's basically 3 super matches, but they run it in this team format. So first round of each super match, and then repeat. Right. But so there will be girls at this event, but not in the team format. Gotcha. But there was at Ian's event. So
yeah, it was really well done. I personally like, because I'm not an endurance guy. Like, I like the fact that I could pull, go regroup, win or lose, and talk to my coaches or whatever, and then the next round's coming up. For my club, the other super heavyweight was kind of getting his ass handed to their supers, or guys like Alan Ford would jump up to the supers, right? Because he can, right? And so he but then Zach, Alan was on our team, so he tried to take a round for me so I could get a break.
And that was when he got beat by Zach.
That's when he got beat by Zach, and now we're like, okay, because we expected Alan to beat Zach.
Yeah.
And then we're like, okay. So then they're like, you're gonna have to do this, or because that was the one we were coming in from behind, and we had a lot of points to make up, and the supers was the one category that we were able to catch up. So anyway, so I ended up beating Zach, and then I think that was it for me. I think I had to pull out at that point, but yeah, it was a really good atmosphere. I love that he puts the big projection screen, and then the athletes come up, and then the score is live, right? So you can see how many points, how many fouls, whatever is going on. It's really fun.
The scoreboard, Bob?
Say that again?
Have you seen the scoreboard?
I've not seen anything about any of this. No.
Okay, no worries. Okay, perfect. Then I'm gonna, you guys, just as you keep talking, I'll pull it up and show you on the screen.
It just put an extra element of, like, if you go to a hockey game, basketball game, whatever, you see a big scoreboard or the teleprompter, whatever, and you see, or a UFC, the graphic comes up, boom. He was able to do that, and it just made it feel cool. And then on the broadcast, which we don't get to see until after, while we see it on the wall, the audience sees it on the TV. Do you get what I mean? So it looks cool. Like, I love the idea.
Thank you very much, Ian.
I think more graphics and more data is what drives entertainment for fans.
And the fact that I love the fact that, like, as soon as I heard this concept, I think it was me that approached Jason, or I can't remember who approached who, but we're like, we have to work together. Like, we have to figure out how we can blend this, because I'm trying something completely different. And I think, the only problem I have with what we're doing right now is we're going up against a time frame that's really not great. And what I mean by that is, right now there's so much sensitivity about changing tables and rules and all that stuff right now in the political landscape of things. But Jason and I,
do yourselves a favor and never give a crap what the political landscape thinks.
Okay.
Not even one iota. Nothing.
Okay, because I just watched the Brian Shaw and Devin and Neil thing, and someone asked Neil or Devin on a super chat if Mac tables we're gonna replace or whatever or something. He's like, well, right now, I think right now is not a good time to be messing with the rules and this and that. And I was like, well, that's not really the question. And it wasn't like talking about now, but we don't want to replace anything. We just want
Well,
to
I know,
exist.
but the Devin's answer was not about this or Mac. It was about East versus West. So in that
No,
case,
the question was the table and the
right,
rules. Yeah.
again, but for East versus West,
Oh,
right?
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm the owner of East versus West,
Yeah.
with the turmoil that it's going through,
Yeah,
no,
you
I
don't
do not
address this.
introduce the Mac table.
Yeah.
And we're not
No.
we don't even like, listen, we are not trying to replace what exists.
I didn't say
We
you
just
were.
want to exist alongside of it and have
Right.
something new.
Right. Within your league, Mac is a new league. This team thing is a new league. I would do anything that you got. I would change the rules up one side and down the other if you felt it was the appropriate thing to do.
Yes, sir.
And constantly, Jason and I are always doing that. We're always calling each other. Like, we're even considering a potential, like, we're not going to do it for the next event. But even, how we have the set grip, like close your thumbs, close your hands, go, right? We're also considering doing that as a ref script too. So I will physically close both thumbs simultaneously, then close both hands so that I have a hold on them. And because everyone's trying to cheat all the time and we're trying to have the most fair thing possible, but there's a big debate on to whether that's necessary or we just keep fouling. You're loading, that's a foul. You're not
exactly. It's
you're
not
not
necessary.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're paying your athletes, right?
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then
Yeah.
if you're paying your athletes, I don't care how much you're paying them, whether it's $100 or $10,000, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
When you say close your thumb, close your hands, if they receive a foul, you deduct 10% of their pay. They get another foul, deduct another 10% of their pay. Watch how fast those fouls stop.
Or people not come to my event. It's like,
Hey, Mac,
the athletes
you're-
would be like, fuck
Hey,
that
you
guy.
know what? He's got one point there actually.
Mac,
Quick, if
if you're-
the point of Mac is the refs control the setup, if that rule only applies during the setup, if you get a foul during the setup, you get a deduction of $10, 10%,
Right.
whatever it is.
Yes.
That I like that. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
in my system with the team, you're fucking your team every time you get a foul. So there's
That's it.
a bit
So,
there. But for the super matches, I think that's a brilliant idea.
so
And here's what's
the
funny.
Mac
The
rules.
point is the start. The whole point is the
Yeah.
start. That's the whole
That's it.
point.
That's it. Really, Mac is like this. Just let us start every match identical to everyone else. And then it's very hard to foul out. But we'll foul you out if you're not listening.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
if you're trying to
start the
cheat,
match, yeah.
if you're messing it, like if you're twisting your hand trying to get space with the thumb and the strap, if you're ducking your thumb, if you're retreating, like if you're doing anything but allowing the referees to set you exactly the way we want.
But you can do all of that and still close your hand and not have a foul.
Well,
I can duck my thumb, I can push my thumb through, I can do all that stuff.
Our setup is when you come in like a karate chop and the palms must be together. So if you're trying to do shit, especially when we're putting on the straps and you're twisting your hand and making it difficult for the referee, then he's got to set the tone. Yeah, exactly.
Just fine them financially and they will all quit doing it. And none of them will stop.
I might have to bring that up.
None of them will stop coming to your event because you're paying them to come to your event.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I told Devin Lorette this would solve all fouls 10 years ago. Devin hated it because he's the guy that fouls all the time.
Yeah,
during the setup.
Utilizes the fouls.
Well, I'll tell you this, for Devin being a close friend of mine, I could see him having a hard time embracing the Mac table and the Mac rule set, because I've told him many times I love the guy, but I basically looked at everything that he gets away with and made a rule against it.
Right.
I love him, and I honestly think, to be totally honest with you, I actually think if Devin was to pull Mac, he would see that he's even a better arm wrestler than he is, because he wouldn't need to cheat and he'd still win.
I think the point is that he'll adapt to whatever rule set he's in.
Yeah.
And he'll try to find a way to do the things that he wants to do, which all the stuff he does in the setup and with the fouls and everything, it's all just to accrue fatigue or a tire fatigue on his opponent. So he'll figure out another way to do that if he has to. But the point is, with the system, it's got to be the setup is completely controlled. Like the analogy I made when we were talking about it a while ago, Ian and I, is like the start of a basketball game. Like, they throw the ball up the same every fucking time. The kickoff's the same at every football game. The puck gets dropped the same at every hockey game. Like, the start of a soccer game is the exact same every single time, because if you deviate from that, then the audience already knows, like, oh, that's not the way it goes, and they can see the foul right away. They can see the deviation.
Inconsistency, and they're like, this is kind of bananas. Why did they get the? Why did this guy do this, and why does that guy do that? And it's like, like the 100 and the start. Let's be honest, the start is so important, especially in an explosive sport like arm wrestling. Imagine they allowed a 100-meter sprinter to go a tenth of a second early before everybody else. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, that makes a fucking difference, because at the end of a 100-meter race, it isn't by the tenths of seconds, right?
Yeah. Real quick, just get back to the scoreboard, and I'll share it again.
Oh, yeah. Did you share it already?
I did, but I don't. Just like, can you guys see this now?
I don't see anything.
I don't see anything.
Because I'm on our live, but I'm also watching us on YouTube, and I don't see anything yet.
All I see is the three of us.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, you have to scroll to the side, I think, for us, Bob. Okay, I see it. I see it on YouTube now. But Bob, for you to see it, you're gonna have to shift your Did you get it?
Nope.
Here.
I have three options. One of them, it just shows who's ever talking, and another one tells me to tap to talk, and another one shows all three of us.
You might have it now.
Well,
if you just scroll over, but here, let me see if this works. This might work too. I want you to
okay, you're up on YouTube right now. It says 21, 29.
Yeah, I know, and it's gonna come off in a second because we're a little delayed, but
okay.
Let me see if this works.
Yeah, you're a bit delayed.
Oh, now I see something.
You see something next to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is, well, all I can say is it looks really cool, but it's really freaking tiny. I can't really see it.
And you're on
and I'm on a phone.
Yeah. It is cool. It's super cool.
But yeah, it's the scoreboard to.
But yeah, no, that's cool. Very good. Very good.
I got to pull your friends there, your training partners yesterday.
What's that?
Bob's training partners.
Oh yeah, you met him. Okay, I didn't meet him, or I don't remember.
Yeah, the name. One of them is fairly new, and I was helping him out. And then the other guy was pretty strong. He was pretty good.
Yeah. The strong one was Julian Smith.
Yeah, that's it. Julian Smith.
The new one was Eric Benson.
Yeah. Julian, he got quite the workout yesterday.
Sure he did.
Maybe I did. Who was Julian? Was he the one with the really strong hook, Ian?
Yeah, well, he had a solid.
He's shorter, bit of a beard, or like not.
He had beard. I don't know how short he was.
Not like short, but he wasn't a tall guy. He was like 5'10", 6 foot.
Yeah, he's about that, eh?
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I did pull him for a minute. Yeah. If he's the one with a hook, then his hook was really strong.
Yeah, he was pretty good. I think he was, by the time I got to him, he was pretty beat up.
Yeah.
But he looked good with like you. I think you were in a good hook match with him. And
yeah, I think that's who it was then. Yeah, no, I'm a little sore.
I got my revenge on Alan Ford. I was pretty happy with that. Yeah. I love it when he quits. He's like, "Oh, because he won't quit if he's got the advantage. Eh? He'll just keep rocking you. But if you got the advantage, he's like, get me out of here.
Now you're saying he's a crybaby?
No, he's all right. It's just me and him. We've been pulling for 20 years, him and I. And he gets me every once in a while, and I'm like, good on you, good on you. But when I get him, it's because he's older than I am, and he's been in the sports, and he was one of my coaches early on, right?
Right.
So you always want to make sure that the young guy. But I'm 46 now. Like, come on, I'm not young anymore.
Yeah.
It was great practice though. It was awesome to see Mitchell Hooper, because I've reached out to Mitch a few times, and it's interesting. Like I talked to Lars about him, and he was like, "Yeah, Mitchell is not interested in arm wrestling, so like at all." And I've heard it from multiple people. He's like, "No." He's too focused on strongman. But boy, when he was on the table, he was absorbing. He is a supercomputer. That dude, he is a supercomputer.
Yeah.
Like you can just see him.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, okay. And and he started to, like, when I thought Devin was doing the Devin like too complicated teaching method. Didn't seem to bother Mitch. Like he was really picking it up,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. And he didn't. I said, like, when you look at Mitchell's back and it's like it looks like a friggin'
His back's
set of wings. I'm like, Dev, why don't you like teach him how to use his lat? Like you're getting him to pull, but you're not telling him. And he's like, I don't want him to overcomplicate things. And then he's talking about all these terminologies. I'm like, you don't want to overcomplicate it.
That's kind of funny coming from Devin.
That's right. I know, it's funny. It was all fun though. It was great party.
great party. Yeah.
Was it at Devin's house or was it somewhere else?
No, it's out in in the countryside of Ottawa, Carlsbad Springs, I think they call it. And it was like a house turned into a mini resort, like a really small resort, but it had like cold plunge and hot tubs and saunas and outdoor facilities, but with real plumbing and stuff like that, and a bar and a tent, and they had a gazebo for the arm wrestling tables and DJ, and it was but it was very compact.
Cool.
It was awesome though. We had would you
so
say
the
there was
events
100?
the events that you've done so far, the 11-man one and the can you see them on YouTube or something?
Yeah, I'll send you the links. Yeah, the 5-man one isn't really on there. Like it's on there, but it's unlisted. So I just have to send you the link. But the other one, you can just search TAWF, like TAWF, Table Monkeys, and it'll come up. But I'll send you the links.
Okay, yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Awesome. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, and then this this game coming up will be it should be a lot of fun, and it'll be the
one that's coming up in October. Will you show it live or?
Yeah, it'll be live. Like I said, I'm working. So my goal is to get it broadcast. I'm trying to get it on like either Fight Network or TSN or something like that. But
I wasn't sure you were gonna say. I thought you said you couldn't.
Well, I mean, it's nothing's in ink yet, but it's getting pretty close. So it will be on something most likely. And
I've seen the emails. It's for real. He's like in communication with the Fight Network, or is it Fight Network or Fight TV?
Yeah, no, Fight Network.
Fight Network. So, and it's legit. Like, and I'm super excited. Like you said, did you tell him about Matt Cause?
I did. I told him about Matt Cause. He wouldn't really know who he is, but I did explain the whole commentating thing and him working with Auden and all that. And yeah, I think. You know what? It's funny. I like Matt's like a personal friend. Like he's my wife's good friend's like wife or husband. So I've known him for a while. I don't really think of him as Matt Cause, and I don't pay attention to that many mainstream sports the way that most people do. But when I mentioned it to my friends at work, they were like, "What? Matt Cause is going to be on your thing? Like, holy shit, that's crazy!" Like,
yeah, I knew who he was.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, you did. But,
TSN is just Canada's ESPN. They're actually the same network. It's the same network. It's just their sister company.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So anyway, it will definitely be broadcast, or it'll definitely be available to watch, and it won't be pay-per-view.
And it's great for Mac too, right? Because they're going to be doing them on Mac tables, Mac rules. I'm going to be there every time. and I'm going to be able to, and we're going to discuss, like, as the matches go on, we're going to see those up and coming, like, top amateurs, that semi pros to higher level pros, who's ready for that next step. And then obviously, there's been 4 athletes from MAC cards that have gone directly to East versus West. So there's a clear progression. If East versus West, they should send someone and come watch what we're doing too. If they, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
seriously, like, we had first MAC 1, Jocelyn Brisson beats Heidi Corner. Boom, she's on the next East versus West, beats Sarah. Second one, John Tarian beats Brandon Alcesser. Of course, I'm sending video to Engen and I'm telling Engen, I'm giving them a hand, obviously. It's not like he just just pulled it out of the air. I obviously helped them. And that's also, I think, attractive to the athletes, knowing that I have a direct line to those people to say, hey, you should probably check. I'm not saying take them, but you should probably look at this particular match. If Brandon Alcesser got 2 shots at East versus West and John Tarian beat him 3-0, maybe John gets one. And then Alan on MAC 3, he beats what's his name? Doug Allen, and he had an amazing match. I thought he should have won. I mean, could you imagine if Alan Ford would have kept his hand on the peg, he would have won that 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I won $20 off of Devin on that match.
Oh, did you go for Ryan?
Well, what's funny is they were in like the 3rd or 4th round or something. And that's when Devin said, come on, Bob, look, your boy just beat him one time. And they, the wars, their death wars and all that. And I just got tired of Devin running his mouth. And I said, fine, I'll take $20 on the other guy. And then lo and behold, I won the $20. So it worked out.
Wow, I would have lost a lot of money if anyone would have took that bet with me. I know how strong Alan was going into that. And just the way, like, talk about a guy who just was willing to die on his shield. Like, I know how strong Alan was for that. And for the way Ryan won that, you have to tip your cap. Because like that guy was willing to break his arm.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, did you see how ugly some of those positions were? I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was like, but you know what? One of the best matches. It was one of the early matches.
Yeah.
I think East versus West just got themselves 2 new stars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That you can put those guys against other people's or run it back because it was so good.
Do you guys have dangerous position, broke arm position in your team thing?
We I don't think we actually wrote it in the rules, but for the amateurs and stuff, like when we do our challenger series, we tell the
I'm talking about this team thing.
Team thing.
Oh,
in the rules, it's not the dangerous, like, break arm position is not in there. And the King's move foul, the way I wrote it for TAWF is the only little difference is then MAC is it's written as not the neutral but the losing position. So if your humerus dips in a losing position, that's a foul. But if you're in a neutral position, you can dip.
And I think the reason we kept it like on the max side is if you're in the neutral position and you're in the downward, I find it's an advantage because now your post can be up to however much longer, you know what I mean, in the air.
Right.
And I
wasn't really referring to the King's move because that's not really a dangerous position. I'm talking about an actual dangerous traditional arm break position.
No, because listen, at the end of the day, we believe that there's no science to this. Okay, I'll just put it out there. But I think with all the, and I told your boy that you had something to do with the MAC table and actually making sure that we kept the pads of 7 inches away from each other, which made a lot of sense. But because of the things that we tried, we tested and adjusted, we feel like it's a lot safer of a table. We don't have science behind it. We're still tallying data, but we've not had one major significant. We have had 0 arm breaks.
A bicep tear or a break. Yeah.
Nothing.
We've had elbow issues, obviously. Like we've had some
like just regular, like I got
UCL stuff,
but nothing serious.
No arm breaks and no bicep tears so far.
Okay, I'll try to ask the question again.
Yeah.
Do you have a
No, we don't.
rule?
That's the point.
Okay,
That's what we're
okay.
saying. We took it
No
away
rule.
because we've seen multiple matches and this, and we're like, you know what? At the end of the day,
So-
this is for
Right.
professionals.
So if a
And
guy goes into a broke arm position, you just let him keep going.
we let him keep going. If he breaks his arm, he's a professional athlete.
That's
Now,
fine.
on our lower leagues, like we have what we call the Challenger Series, that's not the same. Okay, we
Right.
tell the referees these are amateurs. You keep them safe, right? But with the
Right.
with the pros, it's a combat sport.
Right. Okay.
You take the safety wheels off, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it in East versus West. There's tons of guys like this, and they let them go.
In the rules at East versus West, it isn't, right?
It's technically in their rules, isn't it, Bob?
No, it's not.
Oh, they took it out?
Yeah.
Oh.
You never want a dangerous position rule in your rules because it opens you up to liability.
That's
The second it
didn't
exists,
think
the
about that.
second a rule exists about dangerous position,
that makes a lot of sense.
you are opened up to liability versus enter at your own risk.
Interesting.
Yeah, because
That's
think
the same,
about
that's probably the same for tournaments then, no?
what'd you say?
That would probably be the same for tournaments then, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
Well,
should
how-
never have a dangerous position rule in your tournaments. Because
That's interesting.
here's the reality. If you have a dangerous position rule, what's the ref supposed to do? He's supposed to see it, warn the guy to get out of it, and if he doesn't get out of it, stop the match. In the meantime, the arm has already broke.
Yeah.
So then
That rule is
immediately
ridiculous.
the ref is at fault, which means the promoter's at fault.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
you're right.
open yourself up to liability in that case. So
Interesting. So
Hey,
maybe WAF should get rid of that completely then, because
they should.
yeah.
That's obviously proves that, like, shows that they have an issue there, right?
I
If I was
I
You wonder why it might be difficult to host WAF events in, like, at venues sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I've had issues trying to host events with insurance things, right? Because
right.
worried about it. Well, that would be, if you don't know that right off the bat, you're already behind the eight ball, which I didn't know until right now. So that's awesome.
Right.
That's a really good one.
Well, when is the next MAC event?
August 30th.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, down in the market in Ottawa, it's like a Bourbon Street for Ottawa. You know, it's
Right.
venues are bananas expensive there. So
it's outside?
No, it's inside. It's
Oh.
just the type of venue that we got isn't going to be grand because of the where it's located. Super expensive. Like I did a recce on the place last night. It was my first time to go check it out because I was already in Ottawa, and but like the atmosphere is beautiful. Like right where the sidewalk is to go in, you look up, you can see the Parliament buildings that's built on a hill, so it kind of looks like the castle from Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? Like it looked really cool, and it's either that or the Chateau Laurier, which actually does look like a castle. I couldn't tell because it was dark, but yeah, it's very lively. You know, people all over the streets and buskers and stuff like that. So it's a great area, and it's going to be a very intimate. Everyone's going to be shoulder to shoulder like last time, right? Remember how many people were at we had so many people, we can't talk about it because the fire well, in Toronto, because of the fire marshals, right? We're like so we just
pushing the limits by a few heads.
Yeah, it took me like 10 minutes from where I was sitting to go to the washroom. I'm like, excuse me, and it was all paying customers. Everybody paid.
Good. That was a good one.
Yeah, and it was awesome because we had all the Ontario Canadian legends. We honored them. They all came to watch, and we brought them on stage. Troy Eaton, Pat Mastrangelo, Rick Barbet, Crazy George, Mike Gould, Devin Larrett. Am I missing anybody? I hope not,
Earl,
because then
did you say Earl?
oh, Earl, no shit, Earl was there. There was about 7 or 8 of them, and Phil Stoppert there. I can't remember. No. Anyway, just like the legends of Ontario arm wrestling, all there, and Devin and John were like, who knows, because people are getting up there now, right? If we'll ever have that same collection together in one spot.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it was very cool, very honorable. And then we're kicking off something in November. I can't really speak on it too much other than it might potentially be a 3 league combined effort in which you're involved in. You might not, you might know about it already. I don't know, but the venue is 5,000 seating. It's basically an arena. And we're going to do it up like a WWE, like, so the stage isn't where they're arm wrestling. They're going to run down a ramp, you know, come to a platform that's built for arm wrestling that they walk on, and the table's in the middle, bolted into the stage. Wait till you see. Oh shit! I probably shouldn't say that either. But I'm building a certain somebody that's very, very important in the sport for an arm wrestling table that has a 6x6 metal stage, so the table's built into it. It's in production right now.
Oh,
and you will see it. And you will see it. So
very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's exciting. It's all to WAF spec, except like East versus West pads, because they're slightly was it a quarter inch? Yeah, quarter inch bigger.
Well, I think they're a half inch all the way around bigger.
Okay. Well, whatever that
Yeah.
is, that's the spec that they're making it at, and again, we're gonna do a cross country drive with it to deliver it. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Cool.
So, are you going?
What?
You're talking about this thing in November?
No, on the 15th.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
The 5th?
Of August.
No.
Oh, you're not going.
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it just hit me what you're finally. You were talking as if I know what you're talking about, and I didn't
Yeah.
know what you're
I
talking
totally
about.
thought I thought
You're talking about the Shaw Classic one.
Yeah.
No, I will still be in Europe.
Oh, you're in Europe right now, or
No.
you're going? Oh, for
I'm pulling an Arm Gods event August 9th,
That's cool.
and I'll still be over there.
That's cool. Oh, that's too bad. I thought I was going to see you there.
No,
I was gonna fucking lose some money to you on some bets.
you can still do that.
Who do you think, honestly? Because a lot of people are talking like this is a foregone conclusion. Who do you got between Gabby and Jocelyn?
Gabby.
Yeah. Okay. I saw Jocelyn pulling last night.
Yeah.
Some dudes were a little sore. You know what I mean? I was like, wow.
Yeah, Jocelyn's a beast. But
dude, Jocelyn's forearm looks like it's bigger than mine. It looks like a football.
Yeah.
Like it's enormous.
Yeah.
And she was like just like grabbing dudes and just boom. I was like, oh my god. And I was like, yeah, but
I'm excited. I mean, I won't see them. Well, actually, so that match happens Friday night, and so.
What do you mean? Because is the event Friday instead of Saturday now?
It's always
been Friday.
It's always been Friday, yeah.
No, I mean like every East vs West has been Saturdays. Now this East vs West is a Friday.
Because it's a Shaw Classic.
Correct, because it's a Shaw Classic. So I'll actually be asleep when all that happens. So I'll just wake up the next morning and
you'll have all the notifications.
See what happened.
Yeah, it's terrible when it's time zone difference. Hey, you wake up, you turn on your phone, and
right,
yeah,
right.
So, well, that's awesome that you're doing Arm Gods. Like that's what you said, right? Arm Gods.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't mind their promotion. Like I don't know why they get so much heat. I'm like, okay, they're doing something different, and they are appealing to a different demographic. Why are you shitting on them? Okay, it's not for you. Watch what you like.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like same kind of goes for us. Okay, you don't like the bigger pads and that it's a depression. Okay, well, standard arm wrestling exists, and there's 100,000 leagues out there that are just like that. If you don't like it, you don't have to say anything negative about us.
Like you remember when you were building your table, I had a thought of a similar table where the tabletop itself was the elbow pad angled up to the pin pads,
Yes,
and leveled off. So
we almost did that, Bob.
there's no more parallel pins, because I've always thought parallel pins were stupid. You just have to pin them to the tabletop. Period.
Yeah, because and the thing is if it's in the center, like the pin lines, technically though, that's I think why we didn't do that was because you changed the entire pin line level as you go higher, right? So which I mean, I don't see a huge problem with it. Just when I was talking to people, they were like, it should be the same height.
Again, there'd be one of the things where I'd never listen to the fans. I just do what I want, because the whole
why
reason.
Don't you make it? Why don't you make? Yeah. Why don't make that? Or give me the design?
Because I'm lazy. Listen,
Bob, just write it up, and I'll get my table makers to do it. We're already fucking with other tables right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, how does it work exactly? Is it what you had talked about, Ian? Where
it's similar, except the pin line. There's no pin pad. So here's the pad, and then they go up like this, right? Until it gets to the height, and you can pin. There's no parallel pin. It's anywhere on the tabletop.
On the table, anywhere on the table
is a pin, which is yes.
Let me explain it. You know where his elbow pads are, from the outer edge of the elbow pads up to the height of where the pin pad would be. That's the angle of just the whole table.
So there's no pads.
There's no pads.
It just peaks at the same height. Yeah.
Yes. It just peaks at the same height as a normal pin pad. So it ends up looking like a wing. And then pinned to the tabletop on your side of the table. That's it.
The other thing I would be concerned with, I mean, the concept's great, but what about where it crests and it turns? What about if someone gets hit, gets pinned right there? It could be, you know what I mean? Like, what would you do?
You make that all soft. You make that all pin pad.
Well, it's all soft. It's still a pad. I mean, it's still a pad.
Yeah. Okay,
like
so
the
table's not a
the hard tabletop is the bottom under your elbow pad, and then everything else is just soft.
It's all just pad. Okay, okay. Because I'm looking at it from the way
I hear what you're saying. It's all soft.
Because the whole reason parallel pins came into existence in the first place,
short arms,
was because you had people with really short arms, and then it got morphed into this other stuff. So if you take it back to its original reason, well, if you've got really short arms, then pinning someone an inch lower than everyone else has to pin them is normal, because you've already got a short arm.
Yeah.
So the closer to the elbow pad you pin them, the further you got to put them down.
What about the center of the table rule? Would you keep that?
Pin. Keep going.
Okay, not a pin. Keep going. Okay.
Keep going.
I was just curious because you said pin anywhere on the table. I just wanted to clarify.
Well, I meant just because, again, then I go back to the roots as when we were kids. I mean, when we were kids, you just went like this. You always went that way. You never went that way and somehow got a win.
Yeah.
You know, which happened in the WAF like 20 years before they ever finally changed the rule, which is ridiculous.
Huh. Why? Because someone was going floppers, the other guy had hand control, and then they considered that a win. So you could not win with a flop wrist then.
The rule used to be, if the match went parallel, whoever was on top won. It didn't matter where it was. So in Brazil in 1994, there was a girl whose the arm was in the winning position, but her wrist bent back so far that the girl who's over here in a losing position was on top, and it went parallel. So this person won.
Yeah,
Which,
I think common sense was lost on that
and,
one.
it was very much lost on that one.
Yeah.
And then it
No,
took them like 10 or 20 years to actually change the rule.
I actually just called my first ever. I had to call the match to restart because I actually don't know what you do in that case where the guy pinned directly center of the table, and then they stopped arm wrestling, and I just restarted them. I said it's pin in the center of the table. I just put them back together because I actually didn't know what to do after that. What am I supposed to do at that point?
At that, if that's what happened, basically what because when the pin in the center of the table, you're just supposed to keep going.
Yeah.
So
But they both stopped.
Since they let go, it's a slip.
Ah, okay.
It's just a normal slip then.
Okay. I was confused, right?
Or
I was
another, like I had it once where that happened, and the guy that pinned thought he won, so he lifted his arm, and they were still touching, so it was an elbow foul.
Right. Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Sorry.
No. But actually, do you remember that? It just happened like in Rochester.
One today, or the one in Rochester, I don't remember.
You don't remember it? Oh, okay.
No, but I know what you mean. It's always confusing when it happens, and the athletes almost always.
I think it was in the Roger Learned and Jamie Staken match. I think. And
oh, you're right. I do remember that. Then, yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck! I don't actually know what the rule is." Like even in WAF, I don't know what the rule was. So I just said, look, it's a pin in the center. That's not allowed. You guys let go. Let's just fucking do it again. Like,
which is what you I mean, the only thing, if elbows were all still on the table and they let go, I'd have just said slip straps.
Okay.
But if it's like what he said, where the one guy pinned him and then lifted his elbow up because he thought it was over, well, then that guy gets an elbow foul and you start again. And the guy cries like a baby, and you say, well, you didn't pin him.
I got this something I wanted to ask you, Bob. Like, so we decided that you know about the 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock setup, right? So we were talking about how much I actually think it's safer. I don't have the science because if you're at the 11 o'clock and the 6 o'clock, and I am at the 11 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and we're in a comfortable position, what are we to each other? We're perfectly square. We're just not square to the table. We're square to each other, right? And because
are you talking about when people go, kind of offset like this?
So slightly offset. I'm more concerned about the shoulders, right? But my elbows down. We meet at the center of the table. It's not perfectly straight like that. It's just this is straight, but he's coming in that way and I'm coming in that way. But our shoulders are the same. So we're technically square perfectly to each other. We're just not square to the table. What do you think of that?
I think the rule should, how we have always been focused on wrists must be straight. That's a ridiculous rule. It should be
great. I like that. I like it too.
Back of the hand is perpendicular to the table. So when the referees are grabbing the hands, the back of the hands have to be straight across in between the two arm wrestlers. So if now let's say me and you are arm wrestling, okay. So I'm facing you. Here's the center of the table. You can see my wrist is kinked back.
Yeah.
That's because I want to start with my elbow on the right side of the pad.
Okay.
If I want my wrist to be straight, I move my elbow to the center. If I want my wrist to be slightly kicked, I move my elbow to the inside of the pad. And as a referee, I don't care how the wrist is. I care that the back of these hands, because that's the easiest thing for the ref to see. The ref can see the back of the hands very easily.
Yeah.
He's now no longer concerned with where the elbow is or where the wrist is. He's only concerned that the back of the hands go between the two arm wrestlers.
Which is perfect. It's perfect for us, Jason, because even because of the way we're set up, it would still be that way. Yeah. Right? It would still
because of the circle in the center of the table, you wouldn't have people doing this.
They wouldn't be able to do that.
They wouldn't be able to get that kinked.
So I don't know if we've explained that to Bob. we should
No, I
talk
don't know
about?
if he knows the circle. Tell him the circle. I got it.
Okay, so in the middle of the table for perfectly center, we have like I think it's a 2-inch or 2.5-inch diameter circle. And we don't allow that, the leading edges of the circle that are perfectly across the table from each other. You have to kind of imagine, and we might actually put it in, I don't know, I think it looks ugly, is there's 2 lines that go right through, all the way through the pads. And if I'm arm wrestling you right-handed, my elbow cannot encroach that circle, which would, do you get what I mean? Like I have to be on the right edge of that circle, and you have to be at the right edge of the circle.
I don't know what you just said the circle's in the center of the table.
So that's where our hands will meet. Okay, but you kind of have to look at the circle as if that's the width of. So my elbow must line up to the right of that, like on my pad. So here's the
So
circle.
my elbow can only move left to right the distance of the circle.
No, you can't be inside the.
You can't be inside of the circle on the start.
The distance of the circle is the center, right down the center between the 2 arm wrestlers. So my elbow can't be inside, like in the direct center of the table, and yours can't. Our elbows have to be outside the center a little bit, like that. If that makes sense.
Why?
Because it helps for us achieve what we're the goal, which is a theory that I have about that setup, right? The 11-6, and that it's a standard setup, and it's preventing slips. Guys are top rolling, but there's so much more bite into the hand that you're actually seeing guys top roll.
I must not be understanding what you're saying.
Maybe not, but we're going to do a rule. We're going to do
we got to make that video.
We're going to make a video to explain it. And guys, once you're on the table and the ref says we can point where your elbow cannot be, because you have to understand too, our elbow pad doesn't move. It's 10 inches across, but basically, if you take a 7-inch pad like the standard and you flip it, okay, it occupies the same amount of.
Yeah, I know. But
okay.
So let me. So you're saying with the 10-inch wide pad with this circle deal,
you don't want
the stop.
Yeah, let him finish.
The stop.
Okay.
The center 2.5. The center of that 10-inch wide pad. The 2.5 inches in the center of my pad. I can't have my elbow there.
On the setup.
Setup.
Can I put it on the left side?
No, that's the point. Because
so it can now. Side, okay, now it can only go on the right side.
Yeah.
On a right.
That's a terrible idea. I hate that idea.
I love that you think that because it's working so well, Bob. That I love.
No, because all of us, you forced
yes,
this.
That's what we wanted.
You forced that.
Yes, that's what we want. Again,
Alan Ford hates you.
You know, Alan Ford loves me.
Oh no, Alan Ford bitched, moaned, complained, and went unglued.
Yeah, but listen, I just had this conversation
because you can't start straight across.
But listen, Bob, that only matters if you're in WAF where your shoulders have to be like this.
I don't care where shoulders
listen
go.
to it, but you're not. If you're not listening, if your shoulders have to be at the 11-6 and mine, we're square to each other. So technically, he's got what he wants. His first move is this way as opposed to this way, and he's killing everybody at Mac with it. So
you're forcing guys to start shoulders square.
No, I'm not.
Arm at this angle.
No, I'm not.
The shoulders don't have to be square. The shoulders can be at 11.
So when I'm at the 11-6 and you're at the 11-6,
we don't force the square. We allow you to sit on a bit of an angle. So like what Ian's saying is if we both sit on a bit of an angle and we're both on the right side of our circle, now we're actually flat, square to each other, just not to the table.
It's just not square to the table.
Alan, this way it works.
And Alan's been
now it makes
everybody.
Ian, he gets it. Now it makes sense.
It makes total sense to me. I just still don't like it.
Oh, that's fine, Bob. I bet you when you try it though, you're gonna be like, "Oh, fuck."
What do you mean when I try it? I've done that half my career.
No. But not while your opponent is being forced to be in the same position as you, though.
Sure, I have. You don't think I practice every week and try all this different stuff?
Where you get the. I'm pretty sure you've never told your opponent that you're practicing with to put his shoulders to the 11-6. Have you done that?
No, because
Okay, well then try that and then get back to me.
No, because I never give a shit where my opponent's.
Well, but that's
Shoulders
the
are.
thing. That's the problem. That's what
Yeah.
Mac is trying to solve. We are making it so that there's a standard way to start the match.
Yeah.
After go, we don't give a flying fuck what you do.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to drive your right elbow all the way to the left side after go? Fine, that's your prerogative. We're just saying to get this thing straight.
What just happened here?
Oh,
What happened?
I don't know. Oh, there we go. My phone did something weird.
okay. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. We just want the match to start, and then after we say go, whatever technique is happening. When I'll tell you, I'm watching the kids play on the Mac table right now, and they're the ones that are inventing. I saw a move the other day. Were you there? Those kids, they did a move the other day that I couldn't even conceptualize because the way they set up. So this one kid, you know how you're not supposed to hang on, right? So he's trying to slip, and the guy keeps chasing him because he's stronger. And the kid goes like, his fingers go way out. Now he uses all that pad to the back, and then the guy reaches his limit as far as he could go. And as soon as that happened, he just like grabs his fingers, turns in, flop wrist pressed him. I was like, that's bananas. And he flop wrist, but he did the whole push the elbow right across to the right side and pressed him. And I was like, man, my brain doesn't even think like that.
The point being, he just started using all the pad room.
That's what I'm saying. The kids are utilizing me and you. We're still stuck in our ways. We're not actually opening up what the potential is of the Mac table. But these 13 and 14-year-olds, they're looking at it and they just know what to do. It's weird.
Maybe you should take a lesson from the 13 and 14-year-olds and
100%.
and not take away 2/3 of the elbow pad at the start of a match.
They already have. You're driving me nuts. Do you want to know? Remember how I told you about the? Remember how I told you about the slipping, turning it around and turning it around, like the 7x7. We're just putting your elbow where the edge of the 7x7 would be on a start. That's it.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, you think I should allow this right elbow to be on the far left? What if guys want to start like that? Does that make any sense?
No, as long as
now you're becoming crazy, bro.
As long as the back of the wrist is straight between competitors,
fair. Okay,
then everyone can start any way they want.
Maybe that would work. Hold on. Maybe that would work somewhere else, but like in a system where you want your opponent to mirror the other opponent on the go, this is how we chose to do it. That's it. That's the only reason. But if WAF wanted to do that, that would be interesting. I'd like to see what goes.
But I like Bob's point about the back of the hand being flat. I think that's an interesting thing because
but as long as it's like he said to each other, not to the table. If it's to each other, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that.
But I'm wondering because I think the one that you're the big concern we have with this side of the pad is now after the BLM match is realizing the advantage that someone can gain from that. But I wonder if we analyze it again and consider the flat hand, because I feel like what he was doing was he was forcing his hand to be like this against me, so that when he closed it, that was where he got all that. So he wasn't really flat to me. He was, you know what I mean? He was forcing, and it was.
So Bob, does that affect? Because another rule that we're trying to eliminate or make sure that is when we put the guys' palms together, everything remains together, right? And that the webbing is the same, and that someone's not doing this fucking bullshit and that bullshit.
Or
right. So if their wrists are like, I guess it would work because
the wrist doesn't matter.
At this point again, as long as the back of the hand is flat, and both the backs of our hands are flat and they're perpendicular to each other.
Bob, I like that rule. I like that rule. I like that rule.
It allows.
When we do the video, I'm not saying we change anything in, but when we do the video, and because we're both into having the rules continue to change as we continue to grow, we look at it not to make a change right then, but just to start analyzing.
Right, just like we said, let's put the referee thing on ice. We'll take a look at that.
Because here's the thing: the way you described to do it.
Yeah.
You're correct. You're forcing both arm wrestlers to start a match in the same way.
Yes.
And we force a bit of bite, like we force them to connect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you force them to start in the same way.
Yes.
That's the part I don't like. My way.
And that's fine though, because I had to
way,
fight with that.
Ian, let me finish, let me
slow
finish.
your roll, brother.
No, it's
My
okay.
way, you force the competitor's hand to start the way you want it to start, so it's fair, and the arm wrestlers still have the option of putting their elbow wherever they want.
Depending on how they want to pull, yeah.
However,
I think, and this is just me, and like you can start your own league, Bob, and make whatever rules you want.
You're the one that asked me on here to give you my opinion. If you don't like it, that's fine.
Buddy, okay, so I like half of what you're saying. I think I agree with this thing. I just don't want to see a right-handed match where the guy is on a 10-inch pad starting all the way on the left-hand side like this.
But there'll be physical limits that won't allow.
You won't be able to.
Again, I think we keep it the way it is now, but we definitely look at this the same way as we look at the thing, because there is a lot of interest.
Okay, what if it's not? What if, Bob? What if it's not on the right side of the? What if it's just one line straight down?
You're still eliminating half the. You're eliminating half the arm wrestlers' moves.
The issue,
but that's not really true, because if it was on a 7x7, you would be literally on the tabletop at that point.
Now, if I was on a 7x7 and I'm on the inside, my hand is still.
Yeah, Bob. But if you put the seven, hold on.
I know, but
if you
Ian, you're talking about something that can't happen. You're talking about something, Ian, that can't happen.
What can't happen? Sorry, I lost you.
You two, the next time you're together, one of you put your elbow all the way on the very left-hand side of that 10-inch pad, and you watch where your hand ends up. Meanwhile, the other guy puts his elbow in the center. His hand's going to be 4 inches above yours.
Okay, perfect. So, we have a system that solves that, Bob.
The referee is then going to bring your hands together.
Yeah.
And the arm wrestler is going to have to move his elbow.
Ian, what he's saying is interesting. And again, I'm not saying we change, but we look at it, because his point is that by enforcing the backs of the hands rules,
yes,
you allow the arm wrestlers to have some movement of where they want. So it's going to change whether their wrist is kicked back or bent a bit or anywhere in between that, depending on how they want to pull. The hands will be flat. And because of the physical limits of the human body, they're not going to be able to exaggerate that.
Okay, that's
do
fair.
what you're saying.
But that's fair.
And the difference between like this and this.
Yeah. But how do we enforce the mirror effect? We just don't.
You don't.
No, again, Ian, I'm not saying that we're changing anything now. I'm saying that he's making interesting points.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Bob, is you don't like the mirror effect because it takes this fun. Okay.
Tell me any other combat sport that requires both competitors to start in the exact same manner.
Yeah, that's an interesting point. Think about John Jones, like when he started.
I was about to say, I'll tell you every sport in the world that forces you to start in the same. And I bet you I can give you a lot more examples of that.
Name one.
Basketball, hockey,
football. No, wrong.
No. What are you talking about, wrong? In basketball, every game.
I'm sorry, Ian.
In hockey, you take the puck, you drop it.
Yeah, no, he's.
If you're doing 100 meters, you can't even leave a 10th.
Ian,
you're not listening, Ian.
Yeah, Ian. The league starts everything the same, but the athletes have the option to like the athletes are being confined to what they do. It's how the game starts. So Bob's point is that the arm wrestling match starts by the palms being flat and the backs of the hands being straight, and everything else outwards towards the athletes from there is up to them, as long as the palms are straight and the backs of the hands are flat. I understand what Bob's saying.
So then technically, if by Bob's thing, then the BLM match, there was no problem.
There might not have been. Now, again, that's why I'm saying we need to look at it, because maybe I think his hand was, I don't think we were flat to flat. I think what he was doing was causing us not to be actually flat to flat.
But what about his elbow being past center?
that's what I want to analyze. If our hands are flat to flat, would that still create the same advantage? I don't know.
Okay. I guess Bob, Jason and I will have to look at it and see if it's
100% we will. Yeah. No,
yeah, you know what I mean?
It's all
Because
a
right
question of
now,
choice.
you know what I like, Bob, though? I like the fact that every time we have an event, and no matter how many matches there is, we start it and the fucking thing just flies. Why? Because there's no fighting. There's no arguing. Everyone just sets up the same way and the match.
There still wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, I think there's interesting things there, and Ian, it's what you're saying is the fact that we're going to constantly analyze and try to make it better. If after looking at this, we decide that it is better for whatever reason, then that's the decision. Then,
well, that's the point of this too.
Oh,
Bob,
holy shit! Hold on, I'll be able to hear everything you're saying.
Okay, I was just saying, Bob. It's the point of this is to improve everything. We do not believe that we have everything. I don't think there's ever such a thing as a perfect system, period. I think you have to see what works best for what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve. You have to have a goal first, and then from that goal you have to arrange your rule system in best order to achieve that aim. And right now we've done several rule changes, and I think each one of them has improved our product substantially. Would you not agree with that, Jason?
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's why I think that we're forward thinking enough that we're going to take what Bob is saying, we're going to analyze it, and if we agree after analyzing it, then we'll end up implementing wherever it is that we come to after.
You know what, Bob? I think I want to make your table, but I have a question about it.
I can hear you.
Are you sold on the 2-inch difference from elbow pad to pin line? All right. Do you think that has to be
am I making my own table for me to do whatever the fuck I want? Then no, I'm not sold on. No, I'm not sold on that.
Okay, so because the thing is like I believe that I've proven that, you know, people can do this when it's only a 2-inch difference. I think people can just have a complete straight arm and bend their elbow in a manner where they're no longer using muscularity and they're still not pinned, and that's why you're seeing a bunch of elbow tears. So if it's at 2.5 inches or 3.5 inches, I feel like that's less of a possibility.
What's your Mac one at?
It's actually 3 inches. Now, I'm not saying you can't King's move. What I'm saying is if you have a completely straight arm, right?
Yeah.
You'll get pinned.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? The bottom of your pinky area.
If you've got a completely straight arm and you're in a neutral or losing position, then your humerus bone is at a declining angle and someone should call foul.
Yeah, I find that I agree, except that I've seen it where it's not. I think
that's because you got bad refs.
Yeah.
No. What I'm saying is, I think there's skinny people out there that are somehow able to keep their shoulder up and be. I'm telling you, man, I've seen it.
It's not possible.
Well, I'm gonna have to go out and get some screen recordings then. But here's the other point. By that time, the opponent generally will do a flop wrist press. Now that guy's completely straight, and then you see Jay. I mean, you've even experienced this injury, right?
What? Oh, bicep tear, yeah, for sure.
On from the King's move, correct?
Yeah.
And I feel like that extra inch, Bob. I think it just you get pinned before that thing. Do I have the science behind it? No. But we're just doing, but we are accumulating data, Bob. Every single event that goes by, we calculate the matches.
The reason I think a 3-inch difference is good is because you'll end up with more pins than you will fouls.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if someone's arm breaks or bicep tears. I don't care about any of that. You know, I mean, it's who cares?
You're evil, Bob. You're an evil man.
Well, I got news for you.
He wants them to, but by saying
right, I'd be willing to bet that you don't care either.
No, that's not true.
You know how
I said this. I will say this. I made the table, in my opinion, no science, just I tried to make the table as safe as possible. But then I said, okay, we made it as safe as possible. Now we're taking the training wheels off. And yes, so I'm 50-50 maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the reality is, like, the whole King's move thing to me is still, it's funny.
Yeah.
Because there's like 10 people on the whole planet that can do that within the rules.
Right.
You cannot physically do the King's move within the rules if your arm goes straight. It cannot be done.
Okay.
So you just need refs to call it.
I think that also just depends on how you define the exact King's move, but I do understand what you mean by that.
If your arm, again,
I don't define a King's move as where your arm position is. So being if you're create and your arm doesn't lock, you can do it. I define it more as how you attack the hand.
Well, I was just gonna say, isn't the King's move like we all know it's generated by a lock, but isn't it more how your hand is positioned?
I feel to me,
like is this a King's move, Bob? Is this a King's move? Right. So it is.
To me, the way I define a King's move is when you're giving up all your fundamentals except for riser and some pronation. So you're keeping riser over everything. If you have an arm lock where your arm doesn't extend fully, you have an advantage to choosing that move, because then as long as your wrist is strong enough that you can maintain your riser, you become basically unpinnable and you destroy the other guy's wrists because of those two factors.
Right. So forget the words King's move then. We were talking about a rule where if your humerus bone is at a declining angle and your arm, if your arm is straight, and your arm actually can go straight, and your humerus is at a declining angle, then someone needs to call a foul.
No,
That's the problem, is refs are not calling foul.
And that is the only rule difference, I believe, between TAWF and MAC, is that we are going with that standard, Bob, what you just said. And I think, and correct me if I'm wrong,
the way I've written it for right now is that it's just the losing position. And again, if in a game that ends up warranting where it's like someone figures out some crazy shit that seems to not be like where, okay, now I understand, now I want the neutral position, like maybe we'll reanalyze it. But
you know why I think you might be right though, Jason? Because what defines neutral position, Bob? Because if I have all hand control, I'm in an advantage position, am I not? Right?
Yeah, so but that's nothing to do with neutral.
So what does neutral mean then? Just
the starting position.
Starting position.
So just means center of the table, basically.
Center of the table.
And then is losing position anything?
Anything that way.
Yeah. So that's all. To me, I feel like once you're straight in the middle of the table, I'm okay if your humerus dips. I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that's how I'm ready.
Yeah, no, that's
and as soon as you're on your opponent's side of the table, your humerus can't be negative. That's the way I.
Yeah, then that's fine. Yeah.
Well, what would you want to see the rule as?
He's asking you, Bob.
I would. To me, if it was me, I would have to think about it. If you can, I would still say neutral or losing position, and it's immediate foul. It's not a warning. You need to stand up.
I agree. It should be immediate foul.
It's just an immediate foul. And I am the King's mover. I'm the guy whose arm doesn't go straight. You know.
Yeah. But you're way above the table. Like you're clearly, when you do it.
Yeah, give me 6 more months. I'm gonna figure out how to do it even worse.
Okay.
My arm's only been healthy for the last 6 months or so, where I can actually start to. I've never ever actually tried to figure out how to go about using my screwed up arm. I just arm wrestle, and if I end up in a screwed up arm position, I just end up there. Yeah. But for the last few months, I've been trying to figure out how to actually use my screwed up arm.
I got a question for you, because no one's really dived into it. I think Jason, you touched on it, and I think Devin touched on it. So we all know that like the originator of it is Crazy George, but everyone puts so much stock into his elbow lock that they forget what's going on up here.
Yeah.
What is it? Why is he able to keep his pronation the way? Like, how is it? Like, I know he's not even that muscular. I mean, how is it that he can do that and keep it? Like, does he have a lock here as well?
Because because he has probably trained his riser a ton. You know, I'm assuming because he's been forced to use that. He's got a very short arm.
Yeah.
And prior to the whole King's Move rule, Crazy George just did lower his body underneath the table against everybody.
Right.
You know, and he just purposely went out to where his lock is, lowered his body, and then hung people out to dry there.
But you still don't see this on him. That's what I'm trying to say.
That's because he's got his lock creates back pressure. Everyone thinks Devin Lorette, Michael Todd.
What you just said is a very key point, because when you pull George, his drag is ridiculous. Like his ability to keep his elbow on his side of the table, even it's not just that his arm won't straighten, it's that you can't pull his elbow away from his body.
Yeah, it's weird.
That part is like it's weird. That's always the strength that blows me away, because I'm like, I know there isn't a lock there. I should be able to row this little man away from his body.
Yeah. And me, it's this.
Right.
Me, it's this. I don't know how he's able to keep that, or he might low hand it, but it's still not twisted outward.
Never know. It's always his pronation is always.
It's
solid.
always there, and that's the part that you can blame all this,
right? But he maintains his he maintains his pronation through back pressure.
Okay.
Not his actual pronation, not his ability to just do that.
Right.
You're meaning like his pronation is set, and then by applying the back pressure, you're not able to take his pronation.
Exactly.
So he locks his pronator. Is that what you're saying? Goes into it, gets hit, but because his back pressure, he doesn't.
You can't supinate him because he's back pressuring into your hand. You can't supinate him.
Yeah,
the same thing Devin Lorette does, Michael Todd does, I do. You know, and what's funny is everyone talks about Crazy George as the originator of the King's Move. No, he's just the one who got it called that by Derek Smith.
Right.
I'm sure you remember. Well, I'm sure you remember our shit.
Liliev?
Oh my God.
Liliev?
No, wait. This is before all of our times. Arsenal. No.
Where's he from? Who?
He's from the States. He used to beat Cleve Dean. They did the big movie. They did a story about him and Cleve Dean.
Got Flash Norton? No.
But that time frame. Back in the Scott Norton. Oh my God, I can't believe I can't remember his name.
And he beat Cleve Dean?
Oh yeah. Skinny guy too.
Oh,
and then
where's Eric Ruleset? Where's Eric Ruleset when you need him?
I know, he would know it so fast. He would know Virgil Arciero.
Oh no, I don't know. I know the name. I don't think I've seen him.
Virgil Arciero, him. Yeah, look at him walk around with his arm all kinked up. And then
I thought you were going to say Pascal. Nah,
Pascal, he's still too young. And then Burt Whitfield, because I would think Burt Whitfield is older than Crazy George. I know Virgil Arciero is older than Crazy George.
Well, Crazy's in his 70s now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, and Crazy George is just the one that kind of
made it popular.
What Bob's saying is so true about the back pressure, because when I do it in practice, if I focus on trying to lock my pronation through pronation, I always lose it. But I
don't think you have, like, your King's Move's good, but I think it's going to get better as you get more time. Like you're in 6 years.
But I don't have an elbow lock or anything, but I'm saying what Bob's saying is that when I use back pressure to protect my pronation, it protects it way better than when I try to pronate into my opponent while King's moving. Usually I end up losing my pronation, and I haven't really been able to figure out why. But now hearing him say it, it's like, oh, that makes, because I know one thing Crazy George explained to me was using the strap here, where the strap connects here, is what he pulls. Like when he pulls back, he pulls into the strap there and pulls this way, and that's what creates the like tension on the opponent's wrist. So I do that all the time. But then I'm actively thinking about pronating. But now I'm thinking, no, when it works is when I just focus on dragging as hard as I can through the back of my hand there, or back of my wrist there, and I'm not really focusing on my pronator. So that's
what do you do, Bob, when you're in the straps?
I just, when the ref says go, I go to the left.
You're an arsehole.
No, I honestly, I have been similar to what he just said. I just think about it a little differently. Instead of going like this, keeping like my knuckles up and going like this, my knuckles are generally a little bit down, and I try to go like that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking, I don't actually do that. I'm just thinking about that. But it's all back pressure.
Yeah.
It's all back pressure.
Yeah. Because where I one of the first things I learned was Devin said deep thumb and drag hard. That was the first thing I remember him saying about it because when I first started arm wrestling, I remember people were talking about hooks and king's moves and top rolls and presses, and I was like, I didn't. And if you look it up, it wasn't like you could find an example of this is a hook and this is a king's move. So I kept trying to find videos of people explaining it, and I just remember him explaining pushing his thumb forward and dragging hard. So that was the first thing I started doing, and I would find if somebody went really hard sideways on me, I could do that and stick them up and stay in the match.
Right, because they would
doing that.
Exactly, they would fold their own hand back.
Exactly, and then working with a guy named Tyler Hamilton, who's trained with Crazy George for like a long time, and King's move exactly like him. He explained the back of the wrist and some of the riser stuff, and then when I worked with George, he said all the same stuff, and so I just kept working on it that way. But but what you're saying with the back pressure protecting the pronation, I've never heard it explained that way. And that
neither have I. But it sounds
back pressure can protect against all other weaknesses. If you have enough back pressure, and every time I say this, people are like, well, what about, and what about, and what about? And then I go back to, if you have enough back pressure, you can make up for all other weaknesses. Every other weakness. And the greatest example of that, which maybe you go, Ian, I know you'll know, is Jason Vale.
Yeah. Jason
Vale's hand and wrist were weak. I mean, they weren't just not strong; they were weak. Right. And but once that boy got into the straps, his back pressure was insane.
And you say back pressure, you mean his ability to drag, or also his elbow flexion, like his ability?
Same time, a lat pull and hammer curl. Yeah, both together. Yeah. If you can develop enough of that,
both of those,
you don't need anything else.
You know, Jace. Oh, go ahead, sir.
And every other side pressure guy just said Bob's an asshole and doesn't know what he's talking about. Right.
Well, no, I remember one of the things you said right away, and I know, and I don't know, I'm pretty sure I hadn't pulled Todd yet at that point, but when I pulled Todd, I was like, Bob's 100% right. Is what makes Toddzilla's side pressure so fucking deadly is how much back pressure he has. Like, he finds his side pressure with so much back pressure that you think what you're in for is all this, but then you can't pull him away from his body either, and then you're fucked. So it's really that back pressure is what makes his side pressure so deadly.
Right. Does Todd have an elbow lock? Is that what he's doing? Is that why he can't hold it up?
Todd Hutchins?
Yeah.
No. Todd's arm goes straight. Yeah, he's just that goddamn strong.
That's crazy to me, because every time I see him do this, I'm like, I wonder if that even opens. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it does. I mean, even like Travis Badgett once said something, and I always hate to give Travis any kudos, but he says the amount of back pressure that I require is in direct relation to my fear of your side pressure.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know, if I'm scared to death of your side pressure, well, then I better have a lot of back pressure. You know, the more I'm afraid of your side pressure, the more I got to go backwards.
Would you say, Bob, just, and this is me trying to analyze some of my own theories from Table Monkeys, would you say that the only real danger to back pressure is someone who can match with rise? Like if you're so good at going back, but I can somehow maintain enough rise, that would be where you start to buckle under.
Yes.
Back pressure will buckle under the rise.
But wouldn't you classify them together though? Like I do understand that
they're similar things.
Okay.
Basically, if someone's back pressure is buckling to someone other's rise, I would say the other
the
guy
rise
just has
is the
better
back pressure. Yeah.
He just
the
has
way
better back pressure.
the way we define it at Table Monkeys is that you have up and down pressure, or mainly up pressure. You have back pressure, which is like pad to pad, and then you have side pressure, which is peg to peg. So usually if someone is dominating you by pulling you pad to pad, like they're pulling you across the table, if you can win the height, you'll mitigate some of that. And
but you can combine the two to achieve,
right.
Because if I was really, if rising is super important to me, generally what move am I going with? It's either going to be a high hook or a top roll. And I also feel the same. I mean, you can hook with back pressure as well, but generally if you're trying to separate your opponent, most people would associate that with an outside or back pressure movement, right? But you can obviously use back pressure and a hook too. But you want to know, just to go back to Jason Vale, this is how good of an arm wrestler he is. You just that full circle thing. You know the guy you pulled in Rochester, Shi Yulin? Or he's actually the protege of Jason Vale. Jason Vale taught him. That's why he's so fucking good.
Yeah, he's ridiculous. Yeah, you can.
I remember out at the main event back in probably 95, something 96. Jason Vale came out with Mike Silieris and some guys, and they're staying at my house. We go up to Pocatello, Idaho for the event. Brzezink's up there because they're giving away good money at this event. And when Jason finds out John's there, Jason jumps up into John's class. He was going to be in Bill's class, but he jumped up to go into John's class. And I told John, I'm like, John, don't go in the straps with him. Not that I thought John would lose to him in the straps. I just, it's a long day. Why even take the risk of tiring yourself out? And, John was like, whatever. And so John gets up there, ready, go, slip, gets into the straps rhythm, ready, go. And they ensue to have quite the little war. And John won. And he walked down off the table and was like, that dude is a totally different human being in the straps. I'm like, yes, he is. Because his back pressure is insane.
Yeah.
And that must have been a genetic thing. Do you think that was genetics for him? It was just like he was born with it?
Yeah. I don't know is the quick answer. I know that he was a diehard handball player. So he was playing handball, going sideways, like his whole life. I know he was really, really, really big into that. And what he used to tell people is what created his back pressure is when he used to go swinging on swings, just swinging for hours at a time.
Really?
For all I know, it's silliness, but that's what he would tell people. So, but to get back to your point, so you talk about back pressure, up pressure, and side pressure. I've never actually separated them to those three, but you're totally right. Because like for me personally, if I break those down, my up pressure is way better than my back pressure.
Interesting.
My ability to go up is really good versus.
So you've been defining your rise as back pressure this whole time.
Anything coming this way, I just call it.
That's why, Ian, that's interesting. So the way we define it that way is because I think rise, like I can rise and go back, I can rise and go up, I can rise and go to the side. Rise doesn't define up or down necessarily, but so and same with like you said, you can hook and drag. a hook and drag I consider back pressure, like a back pressure movement. So that was how I beat Porky. I was like, I know Porky wants to drag me in. That's how he wants to hook. He wants to hook like this. So I knew if I punch up through that, if I go up, I'm going to crack his hand by him trying to drag me back. And that's what ended up happening. And then we ended up in the ugly Kings move shit. But it started by me cracking his hand that way and then being like, oh, where's your fucking hand, Porky, blah, blah, blah. And then he had to go straight sideways, which then forced me to end up pulling back and end up back here. So like, that's why we try to analyze it that way, because it's not like, first, okay, figure out what's happening in the hand, but really figure out where's the pressure that you can't match, you know? If the pressure I can't match is side to side with you, then I'm probably going to try to get back somewhere. Or if I can force you to go back, now I can get up on you. Like that's how we try to analyze it.
Right. And generally speaking, back pressure, with the way you're describing back pressure, I'm attacking your arm, where up pressure is really attacking your hand and wrist.
Yeah. And side pressure is attacking your shoulder.
Right.
And that's how, again, because the way we came up with that was really thinking, like, because of how Toddzilla does the West Side stuff, and I was such a big West Side guy, I really started adapting that. But he defines the table as peg to peg, pad to pad, corner to corner.
Right.
So his peg to peg, pad to pad, and then I established the up down, and that's how we came up with that pyramid.
Right. Yep.
Would you not agree with? So I view side pressure. You said attack the shoulder. Well, I use side pressure through a hit on a ready go to attack pronation, because I'm not supinating necessarily for my side pressure. I'm high hooking. So my whole thing is dump sideways so that this happens to the top roller. Yep. That's how I do it. Yep. But I wonder.
Well, like I wouldn't say side.
How would you say attacking the shoulder? What do you mean by that? Like,
well, the shoulder is my body. Okay, so when I hit you sideways, I'm trying. Like if I'm pulling somebody who likes to be here, if I can get you here,
okay, I
understand. Weaker, right. So and sometimes the best way to do that is drag you a little bit, so that then I can hit you sideways. And even though I don't get any real movement here, by forcing you to like pull with me, it opens up something. You know what I mean?
That's what Porky does to me, actually.
Yeah, he pushes you off your shoulder, and then you can't attack his pronation, because you want to attack his pronation with side pressure. So his way of beating your side pressure is taking it away in the start, which works for him because his shoulder is fucking so strong.
Yeah.
Like that was why when I pressed him, it was like, because he had burnt his shoulder so much trying to go sideways on me that I could finally do that. But doing that to Porky fresh is like a fucking never, ever, ever, ever.
Well, guys, I need to cut this short. I didn't realize how late it was.
What time is
it? Appreciate it.
Well, to me, it's only about 7 o'clock.
Oh, still.
But
you're pretty close to bedtime there, Bob.
Actually, for me, yeah. But of course, I'm up at 4. So
no worries.
Anyway,
Bob, I really
it was good talking with you guys. And I will chat with you later.
I really appreciated that last part though, because like, you know, it's rare that you get to like get into these deep talks about, most people talk about technique, but I think the fact that we're talking about pressure and how to execute them is actually, I just learned something today, especially with your like talking about how to attack the shoulder, because I've never viewed it that way, which is probably why I lose to it.
Interesting. Yeah.
I got to get going, guys.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Bob. Thank you.
Yep. Bye-bye.
All right.
Ian, you want to stay on for a bit or whatever?
Yeah. So did you get what you like? I watched most of the beginning, but I did have to go to the washroom, so I wasn't sure what you had touched on with him.
It was awesome. Yeah, I just wanted, he had some questions. So, and since he's the guy that wrote all the rules for basically every league, like who's better to talk to about that stuff? And in the beginning, if you watch again, I think he asked a lot of questions, and I feel like the answers I had, it was good to hear the questions and have the answers tested, and I think he liked the answers that I gave. So
the thing that I don't think he understood, or maybe he did and he was choosing to ignore me, or maybe I just misunderstood that he understood. You know, when I was talking about the whole like right elbow on the far left. He wants that to happen, but then he calls it a physical impossibility. I'm just making a rule so that you just can't, because on our table it is, you technically could put your elbow there, you know what I mean? But then how would this work out, right? So I don't
Which is
mind
what he
that.
was saying. I think the interesting point of what he's saying is that if you make the rule only about the way the hands are put together, I think it's worth looking at, because I think that the point that we want is we want the start to look exactly the same. So if the hands are always perfectly flat and perfectly together, as soon as someone starts doing this shit or this shit or this shit, it becomes obvious. All where their shoulders are and how they position their body is all just the part of what move they're going to choose and why. Oh, that guy looks like he's going to top roll. That guy looks like he's going to hook.
Well, but that's what I was saying.
Hands is exactly the same.
From our neutral position, like that one, you know, from the setup that I'm saying that we should mirror each other from, I've thought about it. You can execute every single move from there.
Yeah,
That's the point. It's a super neutral position, right?
I think our setup is
yeah,
but
yeah,
I think what he was saying is interesting enough that we got to look at it.
But we can certainly look at it.
That the way it is right now, because we've done it enough, I do agree that I think it is actually really, really good. Yeah. I don't necessarily believe it needs to be improved, but I'm not going to say that that's it. We don't touch it.
No, but at the end of the day, too,
look at it. Definitely look
at the end of the day, too, another league could pop up and implement that, and maybe it'll work better for them. Like for me, it's not so much that we have to be perfectly right all the time. I just want to make something that's fair enough that the watcher, the viewer, just expects the same shit on the go every time, and then you want to be creative after, go fucking by all means, go ahead. You're winning the fight. But like, it's frustrating, especially when you're dealing with different heights of people, 6'7" versus a 5'2", same weight category. Like, I just think the way we're doing it makes it so we like, oh, if we allow you to put your elbow wherever you want and your hand, man, it's fucking hard to match those guys up.
So what he was saying about when you were saying all the, like, you drop the puck the same, you throw the ball up the same, and which I agree, I'm pretty sure I made that analogy first.
Yeah.
And because it makes 100% sense. What he's trying to say is that the dropping the puck, the throwing the ball is the palm to palm flat backhand.
Okay.
The rest of the athlete's body is like one hockey guy sets up like this, one guy sets up like this, one guy sets up, like they all set up for the puck drop differently and how they want because of what they're going to do, but the puck drop is the same every time. So his point was the puck drop is the palms and the backs of the hands, and the body is the athlete. I'm not saying he's right. I'm saying that's what we're going to analyze.
Okay.
Because you're looking at it like the puck drop is the whole body.
Yeah.
What I'm not saying is wrong either. That's how we've got it set right now. So it's worth looking at. That's the only point.
Well, I think what we need to do is continue business as usual for now.
Yes.
Until there's enough of a gripe that forces us to change.
I fully agree with that.
Because right now, like Bob said, and I mean, he might have been tongue in cheek, but he's like, I hate that rule. And I'm like, okay, but first of all, you haven't done it yet. You haven't been on a MAC table, and even though he had a hand in building it, essentially, he hasn't done it yet. Like, so, and you have to consider that we're opening this up for a lot of the new generation, right? I'm not trying to convince old dogs of new tricks. You get what I mean? At the end of the day,
what you said about the new kids like finding these different moves, it's so true, man. It's like they're gonna think of things that because
arm wrestling is going to be incredible in the next 5 to 10 years, because these kids that are 11 and 12 and 13, they're going to start getting, to the 18, 19 year. I mean, look at Thomas Dumas, look at Toby, look at E.T. Like,
look at Alexander when he was 15. Like when he was 15, it was already like, holy shit. And now he's like the first one of those, like
the super freak youths that are coming out. Well, I guess we have to give it to Reno Matches, right? Like he's a super freak.
Yeah, there's definitely
so there's him, and but like
there was like John Terrian was probably like that when he first came out, where it was like, who the fuck is this kid, right? Like he was stupid strong from early on, and like
My first example, I call him an arm wrestling ninja, was Jake Charles, because he was
Yeah,
super
I'm
young.
thinking too. Yeah,
Yeah, super young, and
like the
then
most unassuming, right? Like he doesn't look like the glasses, everything. He does not look like he's going to be somebody you have to worry about, and then he's the fucking best arm wrestler there every day.
yeah, I mean he beat Nathan Leland.
Yeah,
And it's like what?
yeah,
Like it's incredible. Like but I think the MAC table well is a bigger game in terms of the once they say go, and we're gonna get to see like a lot more things that we just never like when I saw that kid like guy was chasing, and then he kind of snared him in a trap, and he's like, oh, he can't go any further. Then he like re-gripped, and then boom, and I was like, oh, he thought that you could see it, like you could see that he was
he
leading
planned it
him.
out like a chess.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
planned it out, and I'm like, okay, where's he going with this? Where is he going with this? And then bam, he switched it up, and I was like, okay, this kid is fucking thinking, because you know what? They're having fun. They're playing. They're
yeah,
playing. They're having a good time, and they're learning through trial and error. Oh, that didn't work. Fuck. Well, let me try. Oh, that okay. You know what I mean? Whereas
yeah.
we're like already set in our ways. In order for me to beat
How I
this,
do
I have
it.
to beat.
How
You
I
know what I
do it.
mean? We're set in our ways. We're not really experimenting. We're just stronger, harder, faster, whatever. But look, I know you're in the same mindset. We don't necessarily have to say, oh, our product's better. It's just different. And if you enjoy um what we're doing, then come aboard and see and have fun with us. And if you like that and you want to support us, then continue. But we're not going to say, oh yeah, stick with us, our way's better, and let's just annihilate that. No, I mean, there's a lot of people out there that enjoy standard arm wrestling as well, and I'm all for it. Whatever, more arm wrestling, the better.
Yeah, man. I fully agree. I just got the low battery on my computer. I don't have it plugged in, so my thing's gonna die in a minute, and we're after 9. I guess we can call it an evening. But this has been an awesome Flamecast, and I thank you for coming on.
You're welcome anytime, brother.
And thank you guys, everybody in the chats who's been there. We've had I've seen all your chats going out. I didn't see any real questions other than one guy did ask, Ian, what was the latest on revisions on the Mac table in the last 30 days or so? Which I believe there haven't really been any changes in the last 30 days.
No,
Um,
we this was the first event that back-to-back events had the same table, right?
yeah,
So both
yeah, yeah.
both Challenger series use the same table. We have some ideas of maybe like next year or something like that. I might do a
Honestly, the
prototype.
table to me is so perfect now. After the new pads, the new elbow pads, there's like I can't think of anything that I would want to do differently. Like,
Okay, the only argument I had was I wanted to do maybe a hybrid pad and pin line, the thicker one, but it's just I would just do it in a prototype just to see. So my argument with so if you had a longer pad that's really low, like a 2 inch, then on the posts, it would be 1 inch, and then you would have a thick, like instead of like a shoelace, that it would be like 4 times as wide and the same thickness, right? And basically, I find that it would help the referee look through like that window. It would be like if you see any skin in the window, it's a fucking.
yeah,
Do you
yeah,
get what I mean?
yeah.
Like it, where a pin line, I think that 4 inch is too much. I find it's not.
So you're
It's
saying the pin line is now like this? Like there's two, like so here's the actual pin line, and then there's a second line underneath it. So,
there's
so the
that
reference.
second line is a pad. Okay, so
So
at
so
the
so the pad is say 2 inches, and now the pin line is an inch above the pad.
above it, right? So two
Now you've
things
got that little window. That's a great idea, Ian. That
because
makes
you
a
got
lot
a
of
window, it helps focus.
yeah.
It's kind of like the same like the I got the idea
So what
from
if you want? And once we got the real funding, what you do is you make that a laser. You make that like so the pad
yeah, maybe, yeah.
laser.
The only problem with the laser is how does it determine what
Yeah.
part of the. But here's
Wait,
the
I
other thing.
like
The Inuit goggles that they use, because the reflection of the sun off the snow blinds them, so they have these sunglasses, and it's
oh, that
just
are
these
like all little
little
splits. Yeah.
they're little slits,
Yeah.
and it's it allows the eyes to focus. So I think that slit will help the eye focus on it. Plus, you still get the added benefit of if you get slammed, you're still going into a pad rather than a tabletop,
Yeah,
right? You know what I mean? So it gives
Like
you the pad and the line and the eyes focus. Am I right about it? I don't know. There's no science that's ever been done about it, but I'm trying to put
A lot of logic there makes a lot of sense, buddy. That's a good idea. That's a 2026 problem.
2026 or 2027, because I don't want a bunch of people being all pissed off. Are you fucking changing the table again?
Well, but you're not changing the table. You're just changing
No.
the pin pad, but the heights, all the dynamics of the table are the same. So
Yeah, I think I keep we keep popping the legs off, and I think that's partly because some of us are forgetting to tighten. Like when you put the legs in a Mac table, there's nuts that you have to friggin' tighten. Yeah, and if you don't, yeah, if you pull the table, they're gonna come out, right? So we just have to be vigilant, especially when we're like when you set up the table, complete it. Like make sure, do a function test, make sure it's good, because yeah, it's kind of embarrassing when you have this incredible product with super great like materials, and all of a sudden two guys are arm wrestling and the fucking table pops out. You know what I mean? So we got to just make sure that we tighten up everything as the way it's meant, or we come up with a new system as to how to tighten our legs.
yeah, you can. Yeah, well, again, 2026.
2026.
So right now, it's good. Just tighten the table when you set it up.
That's it. That's it. All right.
All right, boys. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Ian. And we will be back in 2 weeks. Again, I'm not sure who with, but keep your eyes on everything, and you'll find out who it's going to be. All right. It's been a long day. I'm tired. Ian's tired. We're out of here. Thank you guys for